Howdy guys, welcome to Keep It Frank. So today we'll be going over my 6-month anniversary. I did it, half a year, and also what I did to get to the point that I'm at now as far as the things that I eat on a daily basis. I drive a truck. I'm in it at least 12 hours a day, 5 to 6 days a week. And also when I'm off, I take care of my son. And my son's autistic. He's 7. He's nonverbal, so he's a whole lot of hands-on. So I don't have a whole lot of time to do much of anything. So most of the foods that I make for myself are things that I can quickly whip up and make quickly that I'll still enjoy and still gain the benefits of the nutrition that they'll have to provide. And then when I'm on the road, I can't really make a lunch the day before and bring it with me because one, I'm in that truck at least 12 hours, but most of the time I'm in there 14, 15 hours a day. And let's say the food actually was capable of lasting the whole day. I'm going to eat it way before, the end of the day. And I'm going to eat that and then I'm going to be hungry again. And then I'm going to want to get something else to eat. So I generally either I'll fast and then I'll just hold it out until near the end of the day and then I'll stop somewhere. And I can fast easily if I don't have food sitting right next to me. So if I have to stop and do all the extra steps it takes to get the food, I'm more likely going to fast. And as far as fasting goes, I've only started doing the intermittent fasting this month. And it has actually sped up my weight loss for sure. But it also has shrunk my stomach, and I do have a harder time meeting my protein goals daily now since that I can't eat nearly as much. But beyond that, I'm going to go over a few things that I find that I can eat when I'm on the side of the road other than just stopping at a burger place and getting hamburger patties. You can get tired of those pretty quickly. So one of the things that I'll stop and get is I like to stop at Mexican restaurants, and one of my favorite dishes to grab from there is their barbacoa plate. They'll often have a barbacoa plate, and with the barbacoa plate they'll have sides and stuff, but I'll just ask them to have no sides with it, but in addition if they could add eggs to the barbacoa. With no extra charge, since I'm not going to get any of the sides. Generally they'll do that for me, and I'll get that. I'll throw some hot sauce on it. I do use their salsa because I like the heat and all that stuff, but I'll use their salsa, put it on there, and man, that is one of my favorite go-tos. It is so good. And if you're not familiar with barbacoa is it's cheek meat, generally from cow, and it's fatty. It's fatty cheek meat. And it has its own flavor to it. I don't know if it's a required flavor. I've always had it. I've always liked it, but it doesn't taste like a lot of meats that you're probably used to, even though it is beef. But don't let that deter you if you never tried it. I love it. It's delicious, especially if you add some spice to it. But you don't have to. I know it's not carnivore, but I like those things. And if I'm giving up everything, sugars and all that stuff, the heat, just let me have that, and it's still working for me anyways. Another thing that I like to stop and get is I'll stop at Chipotle. Everyone knows Chipotle. And Chipotle, it does get a little expensive. You're going to spend like $12, but you go in there and you'll ask for a bowl, just double meat, and I'll get their steak fajita, and also they'll often have like a carne asada or something like that, which is both beef products. And they'll put that in one bowl, and I'll have them put sour cream on it and cheese, and then I'll get the Tabasco Chipotle sauce that they have. I'll put a bunch of that on there. The Chipotle one from Tabasco, it does have a little bit of sugar in there, but I like the way it tastes. I like the smokiness of it. Obviously, another good thing to hit is barbecue places. And you can get your marbled brisket, ask for it marbled, that way you can get it fatty. Also, man, hit those ribs up. I like to grab the pork ribs, and even though in Texas we're big on the beef ribs, and I do like them, but one thing about the pork ribs is they're often pretty fatty. Not only that, they have cartilage in them, and because they smoke them for so long, the cartilage is really tender. So it is a good way. You don't have to eat all the cartilage, but if you want to, while you're eating it, every once in a while, take a bite of the cartilage and chew it up and swallow it with what you're eating. It's doable. It's the only way I can do it that it doesn't gross me out, because it's real tender, and it's one of the best ways that I can actually get collagen and stuff like that in my system. Is when I go out to these barbecue places, I can actually eat the cartilage that is on those ribs. So give that a shot, and see what you think. And then also another thing I'll do is you can stop at your burger joints. Obviously you can get the ground beef patties, and you can add bacon and cheese or whatever you want to it. And that's obviously a good source of protein and the fats. Well, I don't know about the fats. They often feel pretty lean, but it's a good substitute for, if you're hungry and you're on carnivore and you need to grab something to eat. But another thing that I'll do is in the morning, I'll stop and I'll ask them to give me 2 eggs, the eggs that they put on the sandwich. And I'll ask for a piece of sausage, 2 pieces of bacon, and a piece of cheese. I'll sandwich everything in between those 2 pieces of eggs. And that can hit the spot. It's really good. It almost feels like you're eating a McMuffin or whatever they call that. And that's it. Like as far as going out to eat, if I have to stop at a gas station, they always, at least around here, they always have hard-boiled eggs. So I'll grab a package of the hard-boiled eggs, and there's often 2 that come in the package. It often comes with a little salt packet. And I'll also get beef jerky. Now the beef jerky, I can find beef jerky at these gas stations around here with no sugar in them. I have posted this once before, and people were like dumbfounded because they are having a hard time finding jerky with no sugar. But it's pretty available out here for me. So if you can't do it, then that kind of sucks. But that is a go-to if you can. And then after that, once I get home, like I said, I don't have a whole lot of time to do anything, because once I'm home, I'm taking care of my son, and he's full time. And so everything that I have that I make, it's real quick. So I'm going to tell you one of my staples. This meal that I eat, I feel my best. It fills me up. It's affordable, and it's real simple to cook, and it's delicious. I absolutely love it. So I will get a pound of bacon. I'll cut that in half, and then I'll dice up the bacon. I'll put it in a pan, and I'll cook it till it's crispy. And then all the render fat I'll keep in the pan. I'll pull the bacon bits out, throw them on a napkin, and then I get this Wagyu beef, ground beef, and it's in little pound blocks. And I think normally it's 30-70. It's the fattest beef that I can get from a store. And I'll go ahead and I'll cook that in the rendered fat. It itself will have a lot of fat, so once that beef starts cooking up, that ground beef starts cooking up, it's going to be very soupy in there. But I'll cook that meat all the way up, and then I'll get a packet of the McCormick taco seasoning. They have a spicy one. You don't have to, but I love it. It tastes good. Anyways, you'll pour that onto the meat while it's cooking, mix it in there, get it all cooked together really well. And then you're going to take 8 eggs. You're going to scramble them up. You're going to push that meat over to one side of the pan, and then you're going to have all this grease on the other side of the pan. Like, well, what am I going to do with all that? Well, now you're going to pour the eggs in there. You're going to pour the eggs in there, scramble them up on that one side of the pan until they're about more than half of those eggs are done. And then once more than half of them are done, mix it all back with the rest of the meat. And what that does is it allows some of the egg to cook up in big clumps, and then it allows some of the uncooked egg to bound itself to the meat to help clump it all together. And you'll mix it up real good. Once that's cooked up really good, and you'll just continue cooking until the eggs are all the way done. And once that's cooked up really good, you put that on a plate. You're not going to have any excess grease that you have to pour down a trash can or anything like that. Don't be pouring it down your sink. And then you're gonna, I always get like a hard cheddar or a mild cheddar, and I'll freshly grate it, and I'll grate a bunch of it, and I'll throw it on the top. I drizzle Tabasco Chipotle sauce on the top of that, and man, that meal is absolutely delicious. It'll fill you up quick, and it can last you a few meals for sure. Another one that I do is right up the same alley, and this isn't going to apply to everybody, but it is one of my favorite dishes, and it's back to the barbacoa. So at our HEB, they sell, it's just this microwavable barbacoa, and it comes prepackaged. And I'll buy that, and I'll open it up, and instead of putting it in the microwave, I'll put it in the skillet. I'll cook it up until it's done. I'll take the 8 eggs again, and it needs to be 8 because once again, it absorbs everything really good. I'll take the 8 eggs, scramble them up, put them in there with the meat, and then just keep cooking until that's all the way done. Throw that on a plate, add my hot sauce to the top of it, and that's it. Salt it to taste. That's one of my favorite dishes. It's a good way to get all your fat, especially the first one. You're gonna have a lot of fat, and the egg's gonna suck it up. And I personally have a hard time eating just fat, like on the steaks and stuff like that. I can get the foods with the fats, but I have a hard time eating it and stomaching much of it. So it is those two dishes, especially the one with the Wagyu beef, are really the main sources of my fat, because that egg will absorb all that fat and I can eat it all, and so I'm getting all that in my system, and it's not hard for me to eat. It doesn't taste like fat. It doesn't have the texture of fat, and yet I'm able to get all that in my system. So those are two really good dishes that I like to do. I'll cook sausage. I eat a lot of bacon and eggs. I'll make some roast beef. I haven't perfected that yet, but still working on it. When it comes to steaks, I love steak, but I really haven't done much steak on this diet. And yeah, it's expensive, but that's not the main reason. The main reason is I am not good at cooking steak yet. And I don't have the finances available to me that I can waste on ruining steaks until I figure it out. So once I get in a position that I can afford to play with that a little bit, then yeah, I'll definitely get it into the steak game with some shrimp, and that actually sounds really good. But until then, all these other things that I'm eating, they've been working really good for me, and I've lost quite a bit of weight. Gained a lot of health benefits at this point. And that's it, guys. If you have any questions, or if you have any ideas or recipes that you want to shoot down in the comments, I'd really appreciate it. And I hope you come back to check out more of my videos. Hugs and kisses. Bye, guys.